Hey artists, today I'm going to show you how we're going to be starting our first stamping project. Alright, so I have my name and my class code on the back of my paper, and so I'm going to flip it over, and today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be stamping with forks. We're going to be making a natural environment where the fork prints become the flowers, and so I'm going to have different colors at every table. Please make sure that the fork that is in the color stays with that color. Thank you. All right, so what I want you to do is when you can trade with somebody, they can pass you the plate with the fork in it. And so I want you to get the back of the fork full of paint, not like the curvy side, not the front of the fork, but the back of the fork. And so we're going to make a natural environment, and things in nature, they're never just perfectly straight and perfect. So we want to make some flowers higher and some flowers lower. We're not going to be making the stem. We're going to be doing that in an oil pastel later. But so I'm going to get my back of my fork full of paint, and then I'm going to place it where I want it. Kind of press it gently. Don't press it so much that it breaks it. And then, I've got a nice fork print. It kind of looks like a little tulip. And so if I want to print more, I'll leave a space, because remember we got to do some stems and some leaves. Maybe I'll make this one kind of over here and lower. Oh, that's a nice fork print. Dip in some, make this one a little higher. And then you can always ask politely before you change colors for another color, or you can do as many colors as you want. That's just fine. And gently press, lift up. Gently press, lift up, and gently press and lift up. And it's okay if some of them don't turn out super perfect. That's all right. That's what prints, it's kind of like the beauty of the print. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so once you have your fork prints, remember we're putting stuff down here, so don't like do a bunch of stuff on the bottom. Then put this on the drying rack, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next time. All right, now that our fork prints have dried, what we're going to do is we're going to create the stems, the leaves, the grass, and other details for our print project. So when we get started, you're going to start out with green, white, and yellow oil pastel. And so what we want to do is we want to show those different types of green, just like we did when we painted the Eric Carle leaf for our caterpillars. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to create the stems. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but I'm going to start to create those. Maybe some are a little wiggly than the others. Totally fine. And kind of bring them down almost to the bottom of the page. And then what we want to do is we want to create some leaves. So I'm just going to create those in there. And some can have more leaves than others. Maybe some just have one. And the thing is, in nature, things aren't always perfect, or they're not always the same. So that's what the beauty of nature is. And so I'm just kind of making those a little random, because the more random it looks, the more natural it's looking. So we're creating a natural environment. So what I'm doing now is I'm just filling in a little more of my leaves with this green oil pastel. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use my yellow and my white oil pastel to kind of mix the green with it. So like if I take my yellow oil pastel, I'm going to kind of overlap the green a little bit, and then I'm going to go towards this part that's not colored, and it kind of makes kind of like a yellow green. And so same with the white one. I'm going to mix a little bit and then go into the part that's not colored, and it kind of makes like a lighter green. So I really like oil pastels because they're really good for blending. Blending is when you kind of mix two colors together. And you don't have to do the same thing on just one flower. Maybe I have one that has more yellow green and the other one that has more of like a light green. That is totally fine. And now when we create the grass, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make lots of green marks, we're going to make some yellow marks, and we're going to make some white marks. So notice I'm kind of making like a really zigzaggy line as I'm making this grass. Oh, that's looking really nice already. Or you can also take your white and you can make some clouds in the sky if you would like to. You can either choose to color them in or not color them in. I really like when they're colored in because then we can see that bright white cloud in the sky. Just kind of making like a bumpy line and coloring it in. I'm going to make one kind of going off the page to make it look a little bit more natural. Maybe one's going off the page over here, just like that. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're on like the very bottom of the grass and we're looking up at the flowers, and we got to think of kind of what kind of creatures kind of lurk in these flowers. So maybe like some different types of bugs, maybe some caterpillars, maybe some butterflies, maybe some spiders, or maybe some like roly-poly bugs, whatever kind of bugs you want to make. Like I think maybe for one of mine, I'm going to take a white oil pastel and I'm going to make kind of like a spider web kind of going in there. And maybe I have like a little kind of black spider kind of going on there. Maybe I have a butterfly kind of flying in the air. I'm going to do this butterfly from the side. And so I'm just going to see just kind of like one wing and a little bit of a wing hanging out. Color that in. And so on and so forth to make your details. And always remember to sign your name either somewhere near the bottom or at the top.